Hey everybody, here we are at Camp Current. Miss Tracy, Miss Beth. Yep. So, and let's not forget Lily. And then we are going to go over a few poses. And there's about 4 poses that was in the story that I read, Kai's story about relaxing. So I'm going to ask, before we begin, we're going to do our connection. We're going to do our little connection and our little breathing. Would you mind doing that for me, Miss Beth?
Sure. Let's get started. So we have been using a singing bowl, and this is a different variation. This is a chime. Okay, so maybe you've seen this in your classroom. Maybe your teacher has used it. So this is a different kind of sound than the singing bowl. Ready?
Now we're making our connection.
So make your mind-body connection, and then get to a comfortable spot, either sitting or standing or laying down. Okay, you can put one hand on your heart and one on your stomach to connect your breathing to your belly. Your breathing to your belly, because yoga is a mind-body connection. Okay, so think about your lungs and think about taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And we'll do one more. Deep breath in and a deep breath out.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Alrighty. So Miss Beth is going to demo, and I'm going to explain the 4 poses that we're working with from the story, and then Miss Beth is going to continue with a couple more poses that I'll work alongside of her, more of a lay down poses and stuff that are nice and easy and help us relax. Remember, today's topic is to relax. So the first one is a standing forward fold. Standing straight up with your feet a little apart, relax your arms by your side. Taking a deep breath and raise your arms up and over your head. Let the breath out as you bend down to your knee. Bend your knees a little and then roll down like a waterfall. Put your hands on your thighs. If you cannot, put your hands on the lower legs, your ankles, or your floor. So show the different variations, Miss Beth.
Okay, so I'm on my thighs, or you can put it on your ankles, or all the way down, or on the side of your feet.
Okay, and then you can stay, if you like, you stay right here at 3 long, deep breaths. You can also rock back and forth a little bit. Can you do a rag doll for us too, Miss Beth?
So I'm interlacing my arms by my my elbows, and I'm dropping my head. Make sure you drop your head.
There you go. Beautiful. Now I'm going to ask Miss Beth to get ready to go into downward face dog. So you start with your hands and your knees. Keep them space between your knees and a space between your feet. You tuck your toes under so that you feel the stretch behind your toes. So you got, see how she's got it? You don't have to go all the way down. Some people can go all the way down, some people, but this is good. And you can put a little bend in your knee, and you want to make sure you have a nice V, like you're making a nice V on your back. You don't want to hunch, or like you want to keep your neck nice right in between your arms. So again, lifting those hips up into a V, lifting them up high to the sky. And then here you could take some deep breaths. You can do keeping your spine long. You can walk the dog. Miss Beth is walking the dog. And you can do a couple little stretches. Miss Beth, can you take your right hand and touch over to your left ankle and just kind of can you do a little twist? There we go. She's showing you a little twist. And then you're just going to do the opposite and do another one. Great. That's awesome.
Shake your hips out.
Yep. This is a great pose to really just stretch your back, especially if your back is feeling a little sore and so on and so forth. So Miss Beth, come on down onto your knees, and we're going to work on the seated forward bend. So go ahead and stretch your legs out. Get them. Always flex your feet. That's important because this is a connection with your knee. Because if she just does this, and anytime you're doing these you want to keep those feet flexed. So this way she's going to kind of be tall. Remember how Miss Beth had talked about the string and pulling? So she's got that back nice and straight up, and her shoulders are nice and relaxed. And she's going to just kind of start from here, and she's going to take a nice deep inhale, and then exhale. And now we're going to ask her to raise her arms up. See how she's making the connection with her palms right over here, and she's going to inhale, and she's going to slowly exhale. You can reach for your toes, your shins. Not everybody can reach far. Most important, you do not want to overdo it because you can really, really stretch this area. But it is a good stretch. So you go what your body is telling you. So how are you feeling there, Miss Beth? It feels good?
I feel good, but I'm making sure I bend my knees because you don't want to overexert your knees too.
Yeah, the knees a little bit, just a little bit of bend. Everybody's body and legs and lengths are totally different. So you have to do what works best for your body. So Miss Beth, now I'm going to ask you to show them child pose. And we can do the two variations. Let's do the classical child pose where you tuck your legs right underneath you. Right, see, she's kind of side by side, and this is also called rock. And she's got her arms out. There's different variations. She can put her arms out. She can bring them back to their sides. And this is and if you can't reach your forehead to the mat, you can put a book. I'm going to pretend that this is a book. So that way, if it really bothers you, so this way you can put something underneath if you cannot reach. And that is a goal that you can work on in doing that. Can you show them wide-legged child pose to them? She's going to touch her big toes together. She put out her legs on the side, and she's got a nice back, and she's just really relaxed. Her arms, her shoulders are relaxed. And we used to do this, right, Miss Beth? We kind of inhale and exhale, and just kind of give her a little push, and then inhale and exhale, and give her nice, and kind of helps her get her down more to settle in, to ground her right into that. So Miss Beth, that was awesome. So these these poses that we did, they're going to be on the website, on the Google Classroom. So now Miss Beth has a couple more poses, and that way we're going to work together on this.
So the first one is called, we call it dead bug or happy baby pose. Kind of funny, and you'll notice in a minute why that is. So this one is, you're going to be on your back. Okay, so everyone come on your back, and you're going to reach for the inside of your feet. Oh.
I'm trying to give them a different verb. You got one way, and I'll go with, okay. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. So you're going to take the inside of your feet with your hands and wrap your arms around, or your hands around your feet, and you can rock back and forth.
This is a nice massage for your lower back.
And then you could bring one leg a little closer to the other, and you're trying to get your knees down to the ground right by your ribs, but certainly you don't have to do that, but you want to bend your knees as much as possible. So it kind of looks like a dead bug or a baby that's reaching for their feet. So that's another good restorative pose. And then could be in that all day. It's really great. Okay, the next one is called sleeping pigeon.
Do you want me to demo this one? That way you can kind of
guide? Sure.
Yeah, so that way you can guide. I think we're going to do it this way so they can really see.
So first what we're going to do, we'll start in downward dog. So you're going to start in a downward dog first. So Miss Tracy's in a downward dog. Okay, and then what she's going to do is you can either lift your left leg or your right leg, either one. And then she's going to bring it forward. She's moving it forward kind of like a runner stretch. She's dropping her left knee, and then she's bringing
down as slowly as you can.
Yep. And then she's bringing her right leg across, okay? Or she can bring it a little bit more forward, kind of like in a right angle. And then her shoulders, yep. Notice her shoulders. Her shoulders are dropped. Her fingers are spreading out. Her back leg is straight, and the tops of her feet are on the floor. Okay, so you're not curling your toes under. So that's pigeon pose, which is a regular yoga pose. But if you want to do a restorative pose, we call it sleeping pigeon. So she's taking her elbows and she's resting her elbows and her arms down, and then she's resting her head on the mat. And then maybe you can have someone come over to you and kind of like give you a little massage on your neck. You're putting your your forehead on your arms, on your forearms. And then her leg, if her leg is not comfortable where it is, the one that's bent, she can adjust it, she can move it, but it's kind of right across your stomach area. Okay, you don't want to cut off your breathing on your ribs, but just get to a point where you're comfortable. Some people's knees are a little kind of funky sometimes, and notice each leg's going to be different. So Miss Tracy's going to push back up, she's going to come back into down dog. Oops. And then she's going to just show us she's going to walk the dog first. And then what you're going to do is you have to make sure that you try your other side too. So she's taking her left leg, same thing, but notice your body, because sometimes your body's different on one side than the other. So same kind of thing.
And you inch your way back too.
Yep. Inch your way back so your knees are on the ground. This is a resting pose. Taps of your feet are down on the mat. Notice how her elbows first come down. She gets her leg comfortable first and her knee comfortable. And then she's resting her forehead on her forearms, right? That's the inside of your elbows. And then she's taking a couple deep breaths, and maybe somebody can put their hands on your back. And she's going to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And she's just making sure she's really resting her forehead on her arms, okay? And she's adjusting as needed. But once you get into that pose, get comfortable, right? You want to just really calm yourself down, right? And you want to feel really good. If you keep moving around, then your body's not going to relax. And then the way to come out of it is the same way. You're going to come up with your arms first and then come back to downward dog. You can walk out your dog. And that is sleeping pigeon pose. So that one feels really, really good. And that's really good.
It's a good hip opener too.
It's a good hip opener. Okay, the next one we're going to do, which is a restorative pose, is I want you to get to a spot maybe in your room, even on your bed. This is really good to do if you're having trouble going to sleep, and we call it legs up the wall, or we can call it candle pose. And Miss Tracy's going to show you. So what you're going to do is you're going to lay on your back. You're going to start out in a bridge pose. So she's in bridge pose, and her feet, she's reaching her arms for her ankles, right? And they're hip length apart, okay? And then all she's going to do is put her palms down on the mat right next to her side. And then she's going to lift her legs up. She's going to bend her knees and then lift her legs up. And then her feet are flat, same thing, okay? So that's like a candle pose, but a restorative pose is if you actually have this side of your body laying across the bed, or you're on your bed, but your legs are up the wall. You can start out in like coming up really close to the wall, kind of like you're hugging your knees in, and then turn your body so that your legs are up the wall, or scooch them. So your hips, you really want your hips to be up against the wall, and then you're laying these legs up on the wall so that there's no energy being used to keep your legs up. You can also, if you'd like, you can bend your legs and make them look like, let's see, a butterfly pose. So if you bend your knee, yep, so she's going to bend her knees, nope, and then doing the other way. Like, yep, no, other way. So she's going to do
them in position.
So she's going to bring them like a V.
Oh, I guess.
No, bring your hips. She's going to bring her hips out. We'll show you.
All right, she's got this one. Hey,
so
this is all fun and games here. We got this.
So just go like this.
Oh, I got it. Like
a book.
A book, or
a butterfly.
Sit pose, like the way, whatever. All right,
so,
cobble.
Right.
Cobble.
Sorry about that. So let the wall support your legs. That's the point, right? You can do that. Even if you want to, if your back doesn't feel good, that's on the wall, you can actually take something like a pillow. I wouldn't really recommend a book, but like a pillow or something, and you can put it right on your tailbone, right on the arch of your back.
Give
Okay.
a little lift.
Yeah, and it helps to lift things up. So anytime your legs are above your heart, it's called a restorative pose, and it kind of just helps everything rush down, and it actually helps you relax. So if you have trouble sleeping, this is a good pose to do. So she's going to then hug her knees in, and then she's going to come to one side and then roll herself up. So that's a good way to come out of that particular one. Thank you, Miss Tracy.
I know. Sorry about the butterfly thing. But,
That's
you know.
okay. And everybody's knees are different for butterfly pose, so don't feel like you have to like bring your knees all the way in. Okay, there's two more. The first one is rabbit pose. So you're gonna first start in child's pose. So we just showed you child's pose before. So you can. So this particular one for rabbit's pose, you're gonna actually be sitting on your knees. But if that hurts, you can do wide-legged child's pose. Okay, and her arms are bent, okay? And what she's gonna actually do is she's gonna take her arms, so her forehead's on the mat. That's really important because you don't wanna strain your neck, okay? And this time, the difference is it's called rabbit, and you're gonna see why in a minute. She's gonna take her arms and she's gonna bring them straight up behind her. And she's gonna interlace her hands, okay? Let me get out of the way so you can see that. And then she's gonna lift these arms up, but only as comfortable as she feels. Some people may be able to have their arms all the way up above their head, or just on the tailbone. Okay, you can rest it still on the tailbone, but this is really good for your kidneys. First of all, your kidneys are down here, but it's also really good for your back muscles. It's really good for your shoulders, right? And it's called rabbit pose because your arms are straight and those are your rabbit ears, okay? So she's in wide angle, her toes are touching, and her arms are up. And so that's a very good restorative pose, and you're getting a little bit of stretch with it. I would recommend if you are trying to do a sequence, you can do rabbit pose first, and then come down to a child's pose. So you can do that. Okay, and then the last one, we're gonna have Miss Tracy flip over, and she's gonna be on her back. We're gonna do a spinal twist. So, usually when you come out of a restorative pose, instead of shooting back up and just, you know, getting out of it, you can hug your knees in. So if you were in like a happy baby pose and you're rocking back and forth, okay, what you can do is you can bring your legs and your arms to one side. So Miss Tracy's gonna go out like a T, and she's gonna bring her legs to closer to you, right, to her right. And you notice how her feet are together. So sometimes people like to sleep like that. Like sometimes they put a pillow in between their knees. Okay, so her arms are like a T. It looks like from where I'm standing, she's like sitting in a chair, okay? And then if her legs are one way, her head is facing the other way. So you're giving a twist. You're giving us a twist to your spine. That's why it's called spinal twist. You're actually twisting your spine. You're giving a nice relaxing message to your spine that it's time to get ready for bed. And then she's gonna bring her legs up, and you can keep your arms where they are. You can hug your knees in, and then she's gonna go the other way. So her head is gonna be one way, her legs are gonna be the other. And you can alternate your legs. Sometimes people don't like knee on knee. They don't feel really good with that. So you can kind of alternate. So one is a little bit lower than the other. Either way.
Down, and then just bringing this.
Or, right, that's another alternative, right? You can just bring one leg over and the other one is kind of straight. But you want to make sure that you don't fully straighten your knee. We want to bend it a little bit, and then make sure whatever side you do the other side so that your spine gets a nice little stretch on either side, and that is called your spinal twist. So sometimes we do that sitting up in like a pretzel position, but this time it's a restorative pose. So now you have about, I don't know, 8 different poses in your little pocket there of restorative poses, and hopefully that will help you to fall asleep. Or if you your head, your mind is like racing, like your monkey mind, that will help you to get a little bit more relaxed and help calm you down a little bit. Restorative poses are always good. Helps your nervous system. It helps to calm your body down, and you can use that at any particular time. So hopefully that helps, and you can always refer back to this on your Google Classroom, and it goes along with the story. So hopefully you have some helpful hints. And we hope that you guys enjoy your day, enjoy your night. Take care.